WEBULL here, back for another video. So yeah, guys, this is going to be episode 7 of the Gamestop DD Read Aloud series. Again, I'm not doing this for profit. This is to help out any apes that are not on Reddit, don't have time to read or can't read or have eyesight issues. Yeah, guys, likes and comments would be definitely appreciated. Leave your feedback on the post down below. I will link to the description down below. Just a quick reminder, I do have referral links in the description. I am doing a giveaway at 50 and 100 subscribers. And yeah, guys, any support is much appreciated. Let's just get right into it. So the title of this article is Holy Shit, I was skeptical of all the high ceilings being thrown out until I put the pieces together. I honestly think GameStop is priceless and the most valuable stock you will ever buy. Here's the full picture as I understand it. This is by the username Missing the Point with underscores in between the words. Posted 8 hours ago. First of all, I'd like to start off by stating this post is completely nonpartisan. GME is not a political debate, it's a class war. Okay, let me ask you guys this. How many of you knew that when the pandemic began, the Fed pumped $3 trillion into the markets? Because I didn't. I watched the news in the background all day, every day, and I didn't know at the time what was happening. This news would have been great interest to me since I day trade, so it would not be something that I wasn't paying attention to. I just simply wasn't looking in the right places. You may have not been aware of the pump either because it was discreet, and we were even misled about it. How many times did you hear that Trump bragged that markets being at an all-time high? This literally had nothing to do with how well the economy was doing, or the markets for that matter. The record high is completely artificial. This isn't a political issue, this is a class issue. What should infuriate you most is that people were literally starving, unable to pay their rent, and job losses were reaching record highs, while our government withheld aid to desperate Americans and even took a vacation in the middle of their debate about it. But our government wasted no time in March 2020 spending trillions of dollars bailing out banks again. It was not to protect your retirement accounts. They claimed that there was not enough liquidity in the markets, and Fed Chair Jerome Powell stated he will do whatever it takes to prevent another Great Depression. But their actions are what is about to cause the next potential Great Depression. Not only was $3 trillion pumped into the market, but the Federal Reserve also lent an additional $1 trillion a day to large banks for 14 days. None of that was taxpayer money, by the way. The Fed was just printing money. They gave $17 trillion to big banks while telling the American people they didn't even deserve a $600 check. The banks, investment firms, and hedge funds got too greedy and pumped too much into the market. So he has a link here. It says here's what the S&P currently looks like if you haven't seen this image. So yeah, the S&P has just been going up like crazy. I'm pretty sure everyone knows that. And the SEC and the DTC were complicit. Now there's too much liquidity. There is more borrowed money than real cash in the market, and it has no real value. It's a house of cards, ready to fall at any moment. The wheels are in motion. It is happening. Correction is imminent. The SEC realized the market bubble 6 months ago. You may have heard that big banks recently had huge record-setting sales last week on bonds that were taking advantage of the recent dip in treasury yields. That was a lie. The SEC told brokers that as of April 22nd, they must have the capital to cover every share they borrowed from investors and lent out to hedge funds. So stockbrokers needed billions of extra capital by hand on April 22nd, or they will have to recall shares. I personally believe that the crash has begun and has been in motion since early February. I wrote a post about it yesterday after realizing the trends for every stock on my watch list have been extremely unusual. I received hundreds of comments from people saying they're noticing the same unusual trend. The crash isn't obvious to the average person because the stock market has continued to report record highs every week. However, my trading strategy focuses entirely on penny stocks that are owned by hedge funds known to manipulate the market. Most stocks I invest in are all complete garbage, but I look for pump and dumps, obvious manipulation patterns, and anticipate runners based on near identical charts of multiple companies. So none of the stocks on my watch list are in any of the benchmark indexes like the S&P, NASDAQ, and the Dow. In one of the most interesting comments, username Comatron explains it perfectly. High momentum stocks, which are risky at the time of the market cycle, are particularly so in the weeks prior to a bull market top. There could be a smaller dip first, followed by a rise for a few months, and finally a much larger correction that officially ends the bull cycle. That's the conclusion I reached upon analyzing U.S. bull markets since 1926. Stocks that are riding a wave of momentum do not crest in unison with the broad market averages. They instead start to lose steam several weeks in advance. It is probably fair to say that penny stocks fall into the high momentum stocks category. Either way, based on historical data, they appear to be credible indicators that suggest a market correction might happen in the near future. That information is effing fascinating. From early December to mid January, the market was ridiculously bullish. I literally made more money in 1 month than my annual salary. Then all of a sudden, every single one of my stocks just started trending downward, had a short rise, and have continued to bleed for the past few weeks. All of them. Exactly the same time, and exactly like he said in the comment. There has definitely been a mass sell off of securities by hedge funds who have lost at least $70 billion in the past quarter because of the tremendously dangerous and reckless risks they've taken recently, which alone would have crashed the market without the pump from the Federal Reserve. As we know, the hedge funds knew it too, but gamble with our money anyways. This is just the beginning. There is a domino effect of bankruptcies on the way for hedge funds. We know the media has recently reported that investment banks and hedge funds had recorded record-breaking quarters recently, which technically they did, but that's because losses are only reported when you sell. They have not covered any of the short positions yet and are paying millions of dollars every single day until they do. In fact, capital from the mass sell-off isn't going towards paying off their debt. Millions of dollars are going towards suppressing the information, manipulating the market for more capital and to reduce losses. What they're doing is completely illegal and the media is not reporting it, the left or the right-wing media. It's because they're all controlled by billionaires. In the past 3 months, I have never seen so much lying and corruption in my life. And the SEC's deadline to secure capital approaches, there have been other signs that things are going to blow up very soon. For instance, the SEC announced a press release that it will award a record-breaking $114 million to whistleblowers whose information and assistance led to the successful enforcement of SEC and related actions. Gary Gensler, who's confirmed as the new chairman of the Securities and Exchange Commission, the SEC, on Wednesday, he was sworn in on Saturday. What's interesting about that is that it's not typical to be sworn in on a Saturday. The last SEC chairman to do so was George Bradford Cook, and it was before the Watergate scandal broke. When all this does break, they will try to change the narrative. They're going to blame retail traders and say overvalued stocks bought during the pandemic caused the crash. Fox will probably even blame the Biden administration, but either way, they've already started pushing an alternative narrative. For example, CNN linked an interview with some dude who owns a market intelligence company. The guy apparently predicted every single market crash since 1987's Black Monday. I watched the whole interview. He went on and on about how there will be a market crash soon and said the reason is because tech stocks are overvalued right now. If he were an actual market expert explaining the upcoming market bubble, he would have mentioned any of the information above, but he didn't. He strictly talked about tech stocks. So yeah, it's out there. Billionaires control the stock market, media, and our politicians. I don't know about you guys, but I'm effing sick of it, and for that they need to pay. The ceiling/the floor. There are many factors in all this that we need to calculate our ceiling/floor. First of all, we should demand back the $17 trillion given back to the banks that was gambled away recklessly and will inevitably crash our economy. $17 trillion/56 million float equals $303,000 per share. Oh, well, he said $17 trillion divided by $55.6 million, aka the float, equals $303,000 a share. That would be my floor if there was no market bubble, but there is, and it's their fault. Therefore, our floor should hold them accountable for the massive amount of money Americans are about to lose when the market crashes. The only problem for hedge funds is that no one knows how much this is going to cost. For that reason, I believe GameStop is priceless. They can't afford to keep the price down. Once the squeeze begins, we literally choose the price. The limit does not exist. I believed it before, but I see it now, and I have all the information, which makes me believe we are owed this money, not just for past corruption, but to cover future unavoidable losses. I ask you all to stop fighting about the floor and ceiling, take down your sell limits, and repeat after me. My shares are not for sale. Stop thinking about selling. I will remind you again that we own the float. They're paying millions of dollars in interest each day and will eventually be forced the liquidity to dry up. Watch buy orders rise from 1,000, 5,000, 10,000 to 1 million because they're not being filled. Sell when you are comfortable and believe in an amount you deserve. Everyone has different risk tolerances. Not everyone will sell at the same time, and we know the original members of Wall Street Bets have an extremely unusual high tolerance for risk. So trust us and trust each other. This really is a revolution. As Scaramucci tweeted, this is like the modern day French Revolution of finance. GameStop is the mother effing guillotine. Keith Guillotine, I like that. This is the way. Trust me, everything is going to be fine. Edit, since this hit are all, I guess it hit the front page. I thought I would mention that I'm a female because WSB has gotten a lot of criticism about it being a boys' club. So yeah, guys, super interesting piece that I read earlier, and I just thought I had to get it out to you guys. I feel the same way as this poster. I am holding about like 70 shares right now, and I just, I'm not really even worried about selling. The whole point and what's been drilled into our heads has been hold, hold, hold. Diamond hands, hold, hold, hold. So, I'm not worried about it. I know that the squeeze will come. The mother of all short squeezes will come. It's not if, it's when. I have full confidence in the D&D, and yeah, guys, I'm just gonna keep bringing you posts because I'm not gonna say I'm at a point where I don't need it now, but I feel like there are some apes out there that would need to read this stuff more and listen to this more than I do. I have my 70 something shares, and I'm gonna hold them, guys, and that's what I suggest everyone else should do. Again, none of this is financial advice. This is just to read aloud somebody else's opinion, just bringing it out to the forefront. Again, guys, let's leave a like, let's leave a comment, let's get some subscribes going for the channel. I am going to be doing an Ethereum giveaway at 50 subs. So free crypto to a random user, 1 in 50 chance, pretty good deal. Doing a Bitcoin giveaway at 100 subs, 1 in 100 to win some Bitcoin. Again, pretty high odds. Yeah, guys, so let's just get this out in the algorithm. Let's support the GameStop and the ape community. And yeah, guys, I'll catch you in the next one. Have a great rest of your day. Thanks.